This is the Great Alaska Hunting Podcast. I'm Dalton Gray.
And I'm Mariah Humphreys.
Broadcasting from our hometown of Fairbanks, Alaska. Thanks for listening and enjoy the show. Welcome back to the Great Alaska Hunting Podcast, everybody. Thanks for joining us this week. We're going to do a shorter form episode. Try to keep it short and sweet. A little bit of listener question and answer time. We have fallen behind on a few of these, and a few of them are worth mentioning. We're going to buzz through them quicker than normal. I know we've said that before, but we're really going to try.
I think we'll do it pretty well.
So we'll try to get through this without mentioning the Cracker Barrel scandal or which football is dating what pop star and whether or not they're engaged, and really, who cares about all that kind of stuff, right? Except Cracker Barrel.
Oh, Cracker, yeah.
That's our place.
Yeah. Did you see what Mr. Swift posted the other day? I mean, oh. Sorry, never mind.
I heard the ref didn't approve of the engagement because his knee didn't actually touch the ground.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to do any more of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
there are
pretty lame that we're talking about
pages
this right now.
and pages of memes about this.
Yeah, there are.
It's awesome.
Quick note, while I'm thinking about it. I am planning on putting up some more YouTube videos. Okay. Besides just the podcast. I've got the pack drop that we did 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
So there is a separate video of that. That'll be short form YouTube video style. And then I also will be doing other self-film stuff. I hiked in and got my wheeler out of the woods. Yep. Filmed that.
Clickety-clackety.
That'll be my first. Yeah, no kidding. When your axle falls apart after you think you fixed everything. But no, I can't give anything away. I videoed that. That's kind of my first foray into a self-filmed adventure. So I'll be doing that.
Mo-adrenaline.
And then I'll be putting up, and I'm planning on just putting it on our feed. And then I'm going to try to film the sheep hunt that I'm hopefully I'm back from. If I'm not back from it at this point, something's probably gone wrong.
Then I'm in there looking for you.
Something like that.
And I'm bringing a rifle.
Saw something I didn't expect to see on the way out, and I shot it. But
Should we get into it?
Oh, yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Question number 1 that we're going to tackle here quickly. Now I lost my spot. Isn't that just like me? Let's scroll back down to it here. This is from a little while ago, but it's relevant for this time of year. He says, "Good morning. I recently booked a moose hunt for 2027, and I'm starting to get a gear list together, and I was wondering if you could help me out with a few questions. What kind of boots and waders would you recommend?" And he goes on to talk about which unit he's going to be dropped off into. He's getting dropped off at a lake with a small boat and some gear. Boots and waders, pretty individualistic there as far as where you're going to be, what the terrain is like around the lake. I suppose you could bring a pair of traditional lace-up hunting boots if you really wanted to, depending on if there's not a ton of low water and swamp around where you're going to be. But chances are, if it's good moose country...
If you're doing any climbing, I would bring...
Yes. If you think that there's a chance that you could hike up into some thinner brush line areas, some sloping foothills to the mountains, you know what I'm talking about. Then I would probably bring some traditional lace-up boots. I'd probably bring a pair of Kenetrex or something like that. I really like my insulated Kenetrex for September moose season. I just really like those boots. But if you're going to be in a low, swampy, flat area and doing a lot of calling, a lot of blind calling, and just trying to bring them into you around camp, which is my favorite way to do it, unless you have a great glassing knob. And even then, I'm going to try to bring them closer to camp
Mm-hmm.
because I don't like packing moose all that much.
What?
But I will do it. Speaking of which, I have to send you a YouTube video.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a gentleman that has pulled off a solo moose hunt multiple times with his recurve.
Why?
And he's not a young buck either.
Good for him. I've thought about
By himself.
how far back would I shoot a moose?
Well, you don't want to shoot it in the
foot.
guts.
How far into the back country, right? Foot country.
Yeah. How
Right.
far would you be willing to pack a moose that was yours?
Yeah.
That would depend on just how big it is.
And it would also depend. I don't know if it would depend on that as much for me. It would, obviously, but it would depend on how much time I had.
Well, sure.
Because if I had...
But both of us have 9-to-5 jobs
Right.
where they understand that if we shoot a moose the night before we need to go back to work, they're going to understand as long as we bring them a chunk of meat or something.
It would help. My job is less understanding than yours for those types of things. I get time off,
Yeah.
but then being late from that time off is...
I'll just text my boss and say, bring your boat.
Yeah, that wouldn't... My boss has a boat, too, but the chances of him dropping everything and bringing it are very, very
My boss's
slim.
boat's better than your boss's boat.
Is it?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Well, we'll have to compare boats.
Oh, boy.
Have you driven your boss's boat?
No.
Oh, I've driven my boss's boat.
I don't like driving other people's boats. Unless I'm guiding for
I
them.
was getting paid to drive my boss's boat.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Because then if something breaks on it while I'm on his time, it's his problem.
It's just easier to just let them drive, and then I can just...
He wasn't there.
Well,
He
yes.
paid me to go.
Yes. But what I'm hoping is that we get into some remote village work,
Yeah,
and then we have to take the boss's boat,
yeah.
and I'm just going to happen to throw, a couple of game bags and some
Oh,
shooting
right,
tools, and
right.
we're going to book the job for September and, overestimate the bidding time for the work by about 4 days and, do a little
Anyway.
hunting here, a little hunting there. So
I'd
back,
be willing to shoot a moose about no further than 5 miles if I had the time.
5 miles is a poke, man.
5 miles if I had 5 days to get it out.
I mean, you're talking like 9 trips, 9 or 10 by yourself.
It'd be a long time. It'd be a
Yeah.
lot of work.
Yeah.
And I'd probably never want to do it again. But I would have done something that very, very few people have ever done.
Mm-hmm.
It would be cool.
Like I said, it would have to be the right moose for me
Right.
and the right situation. If it was going to be all low swampland and in the brush, nope,
Eeh.
ain't happening, Charlie.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't do that.
Not happening.
No.
But if it was on the nice open hillside, where you're never
Yeah.
going to actually kill a big moose, at least we're not.
I know, right?
Yeah,
Or the alders wouldn't be too bad. Well, in the right, you know what I mean.
depends. Right.
If he's in the alders, but he's not too far from the open hillside, which is
Yeah.
usually where they hang out,
Yeah.
just out of the sight.
Mm-hmm. Or they're going to be in the
I
rear
s-
bottom country in the swamp.
I saw his antlers for a second. No, I know that was an antler. Oh, anyway, sorry.
So getting back to boots and waders.
Right.
If you're going to be in the low bottom country in the swamp,
Mm-hmm.
I would probably just bring a pair of insulated knee boots, something like the Lacrosse Alpha Burley Pro, insulated 800 grams.
Highly recommend.
Very good pair of boots. They
Nice.
last a long time.
Had the same pair 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, I had a pair for about that amount of time before I finally wore mine out. And I went out and bought another pair of them. I like them. They're the right amount of insulation for a knee-high boot like that. They're durable.
Mm-hmm.
They're a lot more rigid and comfortable to walk in for extended periods of time. But that's going to be up to you. It just depends on where you're at and what the surrounding terrain looks like. Now, the waders are a different story. If all you're looking for is a pair of waders to just get in and out of your boat with, and you're not going to plan to be in your waders very much,
Mhm.
then I would probably recommend some cheap pair of some kind of like the Chota Hippies. I'm not sure if those are made anymore.
I couldn't find them last time I looked for them.
Okay. So maybe, a company like Sims or Orvis or Patagonia might make something along those lines. They're basically pants waders without from the crotch up. So it's two individual wader
I
legs.
think I just read something about Simms came out with like a new lightweight backpacking.
Okay. Yeah, so I mean, if that's all you're looking to do with a pair of waders is just get in and out of your boat, then get something light because you're getting flown in. Weight and space is a consideration. Usually, when I'm getting flown in for a moose hunt, I usually just wear my knee boots in on the flight, and then I use my waders when necessary. The issue is if you're going to be in waders a lot, you have to think about the insulating value of your waders that you're bringing. So a good example of that is a few years ago, you and I were out deer hunting, and it was cold. Super, super cold. It was mid-December, and the temperatures were getting down to the single digits at night. And, of course, we're up and moving at first light, which doesn't even come until like 7:15, 7:30 in the morning. But it's cold. It was super cold that hunt, and I was wearing my Simms pants waders with the Simms wading boots. And it was just frigidly cold, crazy cold. Like my feet were numb most of that hunt. You know, when we were out hunting, I was trying to move around and walk because my feet were just frozen cold. And something that I'm thinking about trying with the Simms waders going forward, because I've got a brown bear hunt scheduled in October. It's a personal hunt. And I'm going to bring my Simms pants waders because they are comfortable. They are nice because they replace needing rain pants. So I don't need to have on hip boots and rain pants to cover the top of my hip boots.
Which don't work if you stand up and pour water down your hip boots anyway.
That is a fact. I'm thinking about trying a pair of heated insoles or heated socks.
Interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting. Yeah. So they make them that connect to either a remote or to an app on your phone. Now, I don't know what they're going to do when they get wet. Because when your feet are inside of a neoprene wader sock all day long, they just get wet. Just from the sweat of your foot, your socks just get wet. So I don't know how they're going to hold up in that department. I would assume that it's not going to hurt anything.
What brand are you looking at?
Well, so I first saw them probably a year or more ago at the Prospectors.
Hot Feets?
Is that what they're called?
I don't know. I just was thinking Hot Hands, you know.
No, I don't think it was that brand. No. But they make socks and they make heated insoles. And then I saw them again downstairs at Beaver Sports a little while after that. I know someone that's tried the heated socks, and they worked. They seem to work fine. Battery life, you know, now you're looking at something that you have to recharge, and then how much do you use it? But in my mind, I think I'm going to give it a shot. Because even if I only kick the battery on to run them for 20 minutes here or 10 minutes there, just when your feet start to get a little bit too cold and your toes start going numb,
try to keep the rest of the foot from following.
Just try to keep it from getting any worse than that. Yeah, maybe warm them back up.
How do they work? Any idea?
There's a battery.
I'm super curious about. Well, there's a battery, but like, what's the heating element? Like, how do they?
I think there's just like little heat conductor wires that just kind of run through.
You might wear a liner sock with those.
I was planning on it. Yes, planning on it.
Boot fills with water, and you just start spazzing out.
Just right in the middle of you're just getting the full draw on a brown bear.
Yeah.
That'd make for some hilarious footage.
It would suck.
Except if you like shot the brown bear in the foot or something.
Or or maybe you shoot it in the forehead by accident and it just drops. Don't try that.
Definitely not. Yeah, definitely not on purpose anyway. But that's an option that I'm thinking about.
The socks.
Trying out. No, yes. The socks or the insoles.
I think I've seen the insoles.
The insoles, obviously, in waders like that would not work because they're outside of your neoprene foot in the wader. But if you were to put them in like a pair of knee boots or like in a pair of hip boots, that would work as well. But obviously, for the breathable waders where your boots are going to be filled with water most of the time, you can't have heated insoles with electricity going through them because it's not gonna last very long. But the heated socks are something that I'm thinking about trying out. So we'll just have to give that a stab and see how that goes. But if you're looking for more insulation, if you're looking for more warmth, you might want to look at something like an insulated chest wader with a built-in boot that's insulated. But just beware. Most of those are not that comfortable to hike around in. We talked in the last episode about First Light's new pair of chest waders. Those look like probably one of the best options as far as
First
comfort.
Light, or probably Sitka. Does Sims have a high-end version of that?
Yes.
There's a few other fishing companies that do.
The problem is that most of those chest waders that have built-in boots that are insulated don't seem like they're that well made to be hiking around in. Like, it's not meant for a whole lot of travel.
Where, the First Light or the Sitka ones probably are better.
The Sitka ones didn't seem like they had that kind of boot design either. The First Light ones really seemed to be one of the better options.
Size selection is very intricate.
Yes, it has to do with that. Did I say
Sitka or First Light?
You said First Light.
First Light, yeah.
Yeah.
I've my experience with the booted chest waders. I have about a $400 or $500 pair of the lacrosse ones, and unless you're mostly just riding around in a boat or sitting around for the most part or standing around, I would not want to hike in them very far at all.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at the pictures of the First Light, and these are called the Forge waders.
Yeah.
These boots
those look nice.
Look eerily similar to an Alpha Burley Pro.
Yeah. See, I made the mistake of thinking my lacrosse waders would come with like an Alpha Burley Pro on the foot, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's nothing close.
And that's the problem that I have always found with those built-in boot chest waders.
Yeah.
It seems like the boots are just kind of a hunk of garbage. I'm sure they're warm. I'm sure they work fine if you're sitting in a waterfowl blind or if you're just, doing some fishing or whatnot. You're not really trying to move all that much. You're not hiking. You're certainly not carrying a heavy pack. If you're carrying a heavy pack and you're going through uneven ground or going through the swamp or going through the tussocks or even just walking around on nice even ground, you don't want your feet slipping around and slopping around in your boots. It's a great way to get hot spots on your feet and get blisters. You want something that's fitted. And that's why for knee boots, both of us run those Lacrosse Alpha Burley Pros because they fit your foot well.
And the soles that come with them are great. Or do you swap yours out?
I swap out any pair of hunting boots I have with my pair of Super Feet.
Okay.
They just work for me. I have the high arch Super Feet, and they work. So I don't take any chances with it. I've never had any blisters, knock on wood. Never had any problems with foot issues on hunts. Never. But I'm pretty diligent about keeping the right pair of insoles just to keep your arches supported. I think that's important. But that aside, if you're going to be doing a lot of hiking around and you're concerned about insulation, the First Light ones, even though they are expensive,
$11.50.
They are expensive.
But if you buy them by a certain date, you get a free Ruddy Duck wader bag with them.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah, to keep them in. Yeah. It's a pretty nice bag.
I didn't even know that. Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
To protect them and everything. I think if I was ever to buy another set of chest waders, it's probably what I would buy.
Yeah.
I think so. I hadn't looked at the boots on them like that, but now that I have, I've been kind of a First Light fanboy for a few years now. And
Nothing wrong with that.
I thought that given a few years that would change. Because, I'm buying other stuff and trying out other stuff, and it hasn't. I like a lot of what Sitka has. Sitka has a lot of good stuff. But, man, when First Light tries to make something, they make what they planned on making, and it works for what it's supposed to do.
It does seem like First Light has...
They say, this is what this is for.
Has done a really good job.
It's going to work.
It seems like they've done a really good job at designing more variety.
Yeah.
Since the buyout.
And
since they were purchased.
They make a raincoat that integrates directly with those waders. It's short to tie in. It buckles into the waders. It everything about it.
It buckles into it too?
Something like that, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know exactly. I don't know exactly how it works. I was looking at it, but they make a 4.5 layer raincoat.
Yeah.
Like similar to what we have, but it's for wearing with those waders. That's shorter, so it's not.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, and that's something that you're going to hear us say a lot on this podcast if you haven't figured it out already. We have all kinds of different brands of outdoor clothing and gear and equipment, but over time you kind of figure out what fits you, what different brands kind of build exactly what you like to use things for, and First Lite has come a long ways in the last handful of years. Their Western hunting apparel line, their rain gear, a lot of stuff
seems.
A lot of stuff has been on the move, and it's going the right direction. And it's hard to look away from it. You know, it's probably not a company that a lot of people would have considered to be an all-around, and let's just call it Western hunting type of company until the last handful of years. You know, it used to be just the other two big brands. And now you've got other companies stepping into the ring like First Lite with a serious move on the industry, I think. I would be curious to know if there was some kind of a graph that could show the market percentages for different categories, because
my graph is when I walk around Fairbanks. There's a lot of hunters in Fairbanks of all kinds. Right, you have your guys that grew up hunting white-tailed deer and they hunt moose like they hunt white-tailed deer. You got your guys that hunt like they're from Wisconsin. You got your guys that hunt like they're from Pennsylvania. Right, every different kind of hunter is in Fairbanks, and you have the guys that are full on everything. Right, so you see every brand of hunting gear. When I was when we were teenagers, everybody was wearing Sitka.
Yeah,
everybody had Sitka. If
the outliers had Kuiu.
Right, and then at some point it switched, and everybody had Kuiu, and a lot of people still have Sitka, but everybody had Kuiu.
Yep.
And then for a little while there, you started seeing people with Stone Glacier. Right, Stone Glacier was the secret handshake for a little while there, because it wasn't camo. Right, and if you didn't know, you didn't know.
Right,
but if you knew, you knew. And you know what I'm starting to see a lot more of in the last couple of years?
I've seen a lot of First Lite.
A lot of First Lite.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's ever. I don't think it'll get that big name that Kuiu or even Stone.
I don't know.
Definitely not what Sitka had.
I don't know. It could.
I don't think it'll have, because every single those other three brands have had some sort of elitist stigma around them, whether it was real or not.
Well, First Lite has it too,
but not in the same way.
Every brand has it to an extent.
I mean,
any major player
has it. The people
that
wear it.
Yeah.
Because you had the stigma of the guy that's wearing all Sitka thinks he's better because he's wearing Sitka. And that's not necessarily been true, but it was of some. Kuiu, even more so. Still is true. Stone, you didn't see it as much. But once again, that's because they don't have the camo and stuff, I think.
Yeah.
And I think First Lite, I don't really think you're going to see that where somebody thinks that because they have a lot of First Lite, that, like, I think you're.
I think you're being very generous with your assumptions, but
people are people.
I like your positivity.
I think the market is becoming so saturated with good gear.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
I think that's the reason.
I definitely agree with that. From our perspective, you know, First Lite was always super well known for wool stuff. Quiet wool hunting clothing was where I first even knew anything about the company of First Lite. And this was long before they started making a lot of Western hunting type gear. You know, sure, they had some pairs of pants and they had a soft shell and they had a puffy coat, but it wasn't ever considered, or at least as popular and considered to be up there with something like a Sitka option or a Kuiu option in the same product category. But I think that's changing now.
Right.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
No.
I've got a lot of First Lite stuff, got a lot of Sitka stuff, have not nearly as much Kuiu stuff anymore, but it's just what you like and basically what fits you and is it going to work, and then who cares? Go hunting. If you want to hunt in Realtree camo gear and rubber rain gear, knock yourself out and go shoot the biggest moose of all of us. It doesn't matter.
I think I'll be on my sheep hunt. I'm taking Stone, First Lite, and Sitka. Don't think I have any Kuiu.
What a snob.
I don't have Kuiu. I think mostly, like a majority of the pieces would be
Yeah.
the bigger selection of the pieces would probably be first light at this point.
Yeah. I could see that happening.
And then Sitka, and then some stone. There's a few pieces from stone I still really like.
Yeah.
Acquired another stone item recently.
Which was?
Birthday present. The synthetic hoodie, lightweight synthetic hoodie.
Oh, the Helio?
I don't think so. It's more of the material like what you're wearing. It's lighter weight.
What do they call that?
I have the
They
t-shirt
changed the name
a
of
similar
that.
material.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it's called. I haven't.
I have one. It's that real light gray color.
It's brown.
Oh, you got the brown one. Okay. Yeah. I forget what they call that, but I wore that deer hunting in August.
Okay.
On that early August hunt a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Works good.
I don't think I'm going to take it on my sheep.
It stinks a bit more than merino does.
I'm sure it stinks a lot more than a good merino.
Yep.
That's why part of the reason I don't want to take it. But
yeah. I mean,
I like it. I'll wear it for a million different things.
For something like I just wear at work every day, I wear one of these UV sun shirts basically every day from May until September.
Yeah. I don't see myself wearing for an extended hunt.
But I don't wear them hunting.
Anything but that wick hoodie from Fur.
It's a good base layer.
I own a couple of them, and there's a good chance I'll end up owning more than a couple.
Mm-hmm.
It's just nice.
So we should move on to the next question.
We should.
Keep her moving here. So I hope that
keep her moving.
Hope that kind of covers the waiter question.
Little Charlie Barons for you there.
Yeah. Keep her moving. Tell your folks I says hi. Yeah. So I guess the waiter thing is, if you need something that you're going to be hiking around a lot in and you don't think it's going to be super cold, my favorite is the Simms Pants waders. There. And I like the Gore-Tex ones, not the Toray ones. Had the Torays, didn't like them as much as I like the new Gore-Tex, or not the new ones, but new to me. The G3 that's made from Gore-Tex, very, very different product, and it seems to be a lot tougher and holds up a lot better. Moving on. Another question. This one came in July. Planning to make it up to Alaska to do some archery hunting in the next year or two on some DIY hunts, possibly moose, caribou, or DIY black bear on the coast somewhere. Haven't decided where yet. Thinking about archery setups, would you mind overviewing your preferences for bow setup from a 30,000 foot view, draw weight, arrow weight, etc., broadhead choices? Thanks a bunch. Keep it up.
Bow that you like, that fits you well, a draw weight that you can consistently pull even when you're cold and stiff, and an arrow that fits that, and a broadhead that's sharp and is cut on contact.
It's pretty cut and dry.
That's a 30,000 foot view.
Yeah, that's a 30,000 foot view. Now to dive that plane down in
that's
a little bit.
That's not exactly what he wants.
Alaska minimum draw weight requirements for bow hunting for moose is 50 pounds. I believe that also requires, transfers for brown-sized grizzly bear.
I thought moose was the only one at 50 pounds.
Let me check.
And then it dropped down to everything else, like all the other big game was 45.
That's a good question, because I have not looked at that in so long because I don't shoot anything under 50.
Yeah.
But let's take a look here. We can cue the elevator music now.
Right. Yeah. Just bring back in the outro music for a second, or find some wacky something to play.
Okay, you may not use a bow that shoots more than one arrow at a time. That shouldn't be a problem unless you're a trick shooter.
That's not the bow, it's him.
You may not hunt big game with a bow unless the bow is at least 40 pounds peak draw weight when hunting caribou, wolf, wolverine, black bear, Dall sheep, and deer, and 50 pounds peak draw weight minimum when hunting mountain goat, moose, elk, brown bear, muskox, and bison.
Oh, okay.
So, pretty half and half there. The arrow must be at least 20 inches in overall length, tipped with a broadhead, and at least 300 grains in total weight. The broadhead is a fixed, replaceable, or mechanical retractable blade type and not barbed. So, minimum 50 pounds for for brown bear, but black bear is a minimum of 40 pounds. Caribou is minimum of 40, and deer is minimum 40. But if you were going to shoot a moose with your bow, you need to have at least 50 pounds draw weight. So that's pretty easy to accomplish for any adult that's shooting an adult bow, especially a compound. You should be able to shoot more than 50 pounds quite comfortably. Arrow weight, man, that's such a nitpicky topic.
Yeah.
I know we've had a couple of bow hunters on here before, and we'll have more on in the future. Got some people that I would love to hear some bow hunting stories from down the road. Arrow weight is something that you could sit on a bench with one of your best friends and argue with them about it all day long. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter as long as you can shoot it well and put it in the right spot, and it's got a sharp broadhead. Broadhead design trumps arrow weight. There, I said it. That's probably not the most popular opinion. I know there's a lot of people that
heavy broadhead.
There's a lot of people that and listen, I've been sucked into this as well.
Yeah.
And
I see, I'm right here right now. Like, come on, you just got to be right. I know that when I get back into bow hunting a lot, I'll be doing the same thing you're doing.
Yeah.
Spending way too much money on stuff.
If Andrew listens to this, who works at the archery shop, or Chris for that matter, they're just going to roll their eyes and say, it doesn't matter. Just pick something that shoots well out of your bow. You don't need anything overly heavy. And they could also tell you that I've been in the archery shop before trying to build a heavier and heavier arrow, because I've gone through phases, if you will, where I really wanted a super heavy arrow for whatever reason. I've never gone the ultra lightweight route. Well, yeah, and then you get into the whole Ed Ashby theories and high FOC.
High FOC does make up for tuning. If you're not shooting super far distance, it doesn't always, but it can help.
Higher FOC can lend itself to more forgiving arrow flight in very select circumstances. Yeah. Very few.
So this is what I think about when I think of high FOC. When I was a kid and I'd make a paper airplane, I'd put a paper clip on the front of that airplane. It always flew better.
There is no doubt that some amount of FOC is necessary for an arrow.
Yeah.
Right? You have to have some amount of forward of center weight. That's what FOC stands for all of you gun hunters that have no idea and have already turned off the podcast.
Yeah.
But a quality broadhead is more important. A sharp broadhead, a broadhead that you can sharpen yourself, is
really
what
want to open that box.
I prefer. So that's seeing that question prompted me. I'll do it. Prompted me to get out some broadheads that I just bought. Haven't shot anything with them yet. I bought these for this brown bear hunt. These are the Day 6 Evo broadheads. You guys may or may not know who they are. They're made in the States. I believe it's S30 or S35 VN steel. I think you
said it was S35 VN.
It is a 1.1 inch wide main blade with a 1/2 inch bleeder. Pretty small profile. These are 125 grains. I seem to prefer 125. It's just kind of what I've always shot, no matter the bow.
Helps with that high FOC.
You know, I don't even know what my FOC is.
I'm just kidding.
No idea. They do come sharp. I could probably get them a little bit sharper if I really wanted to, but to be honest with you, they're more than sharp enough to go hunting with.
Yeah, looks like a nice broadhead.
Yep, they seem to be really well made. They do fly well.
They look good.
They do look good.
Some broadheads are kind of ugly. These look nice.
Those,
and they are not barbed. They'll cut going backwards too.
Right. And the back of those blades are also sharpened.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
So if it works itself out, it'll still cut stuff as it gets pulled out of it. They do fly well. I've got one out of the package here that I've been shooting out of my compound quite a bit. And aside from having a little nick in one of the bleeders from where I hit it with a field point on the follow-up shot, because I'll usually, I've got my dice target that I shoot my broadheads into with my compound, and I'll shoot the broadhead, and then I'll shoot a field point or two just to see how well they're all flying together, because I was messing with some broadhead tuning. And I've got these with very little tuning adjustment. I bought that Lift X from Matthews down there at the Screaming Eagle, and it's shooting well. I had to deal with a little bit of hand torquing issues because that bow is a little bit different than my old bow. Riser feels, well, the grip is a little bit different, and so I didn't realize that I was putting a little bit of torque into my grip without realizing it. Huh. I thought I was doing it just the way I always had been, and I was, but I was putting a little bit of torque into the bow, and you couldn't really tell with field points. But when you put a broadhead on there, now it's steering with the vanes and with the broadhead, and it's double magnified. And so that really shows the form lacking with shooting a fixed broadhead on there. But a little bit of work on my grip on the bow eliminated the torque, and then, got to start with a clean baseline. Once I eliminated that and got everything shooting consistently, a very light adjustment on the limb shift, which you can do by yourself. I do it in the yard while I'm shooting and just tinker with it. And I was able to bring the broadhead and the field point shooting the same left, right. There's a little bit of height discrepancy, not enough that I'm worried about for hunting, because I'm not going to shoot a brown bear over X yards anyway with that compound. It ain't going to happen. I don't like the idea of shooting a brown bear at long range.
Right.
Probably not even over 40. If even that far, to be honest with you. But these do fly really well. They are a pretty low profile, pretty small surface area. They're not going to plane as bad or have the tendency to plane as bad as a bigger fixed blade might be able to do in the wind. But we'll see how they do. I think they'll work just fine. They have a good reputation. There's a lot of killers out there that like these broadheads. They are not cheap, but they are slightly cheaper than Iron Wills, and I think they're made.
It's not saying much, but it's something.
I think they're made of better materials, personally.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of homework, probably too much. Again, obsessing a little bit, but I want to know where my money's going. And I'm not a giant fan of some of these tool steels that are being used in some broadheads. Some of them seem to be really, really good, but I've heard and seen some not so great stuff about some of the Iron Wills. Up here, some corrosion issues because of that A2 tool steel, whereas something like S7 tool steel is a lot tougher and is usually coated with something, and that A2 from Iron Will is not coated. And I've seen some guys that have struggled with some corrosion issues up here with that. That's not a great feeling.
I'm waiting for Montana Knife Company to come out with a Cerakoted MagnaCut broadhead.
I don't know how MagnaCut would do on a broadhead. I mean,
I'm kind of joking.
But if this can make a broadhead, S30 or S35
can make a broadhead,
then why couldn't MagnaCut?
I think would be fine. And it's a stronger steel.
Twice the price.
It's going to depend on who's making it.
At least it's going to be a lot more.
I don't think it'll be
by some measurable quantity.
But
I would think so.
By some average, but I'm sure there's a lot of broadheads that are more of an S30, S35 that are a lot less than those too. Did you see them?
No. No. There aren't a lot of broadheads that are made with S30 or S35 that are affordable.
Custom Cerakote color broadhead would be really cool.
Yeah.
You could get them pink like your arrows.
Yeah, I've got pink fletches on my compound and pink wraps so I can see them.
Yeah.
And hopefully find them.
Yeah.
But, so I guess just for reference, my compound arrows are about 575 grains. I've got 25 grain collars from Iron Will on the end of those. It helps with the shock protection, a little bit of integrity added to the front of the arrow, adds a little bit more weight. I think 575 is kind of a happy number. It's not overly heavy and slow. I'm still shooting 270-ish at 70 pounds with a 575 grain arrow. And again, I'm putting my broadhead in the white dot in that dice target at 50 yards every time. As long as I make a good shot,
Mhm.
it's going in there. It's a good shooting broadhead. So we'll see how all that goes. I have been shooting recurves a lot for the last little while now, just for fun. And it's getting to the point now where the little kid that grew up
Yeah.
shooting the traditional bow, that was me, really thinks that I should try to make it happen with a recurve on this
I'll
brown
tell you
bear
what
hunt.
you do. Take your new compound, shoot a brown bear with it. You
Mhm.
won't regret it.
No.
Then shoot 2 or 3 bears over bait with the recurve,
Yeah.
or at least one.
Yep.
Right.
So I was going
Potentially
to do
another
that
grizzly.
this spring, and then I started shooting my recurve and developed
Yeah.
some old shoulder pain.
But you're past that, right?
Yeah, well
So-
past that now.
Yeah.
I think that was just from a lack of shooting,
Mm-hmm.
all winter. I hadn't shot all winter, and then I
Right.
broke out my bow
Right.
and started shooting it, and probably tried to bite off too much, and got home from guiding,
Mm-hmm.
shot the recurve a bunch, and thought, you know what, I haven't shot it enough. I'm not in
Mhm.
practice. I'm not going to risk wounding a bear and have something go wrong. So I shot a bear with a compound, shot that grizzly bear, but I've been shooting the recurve a lot, and I've been shooting my lighter weight one as well, the one that I shot my first black bear with. And that's a lot easier to shoot. 53 pounds is
Mhm.
a lot easier to shoot than 62. But I don't know if I can continue to shoot well with my Black Widow. There's really no reason why I shouldn't take a brown bear hunting, because it's going to be close anyway. It would be fun, and if I decided to take the recurve, I really, it's not about just shooting a brown bear. At that point, it
Mhm.
becomes a lot more about stalking in super close.
Yeah.
30 yards or less on a brown bear, and that's a rush in and of itself. Not that that's not there with a
Yeah.
compound,
I mean, you're
but
talking me into thinking maybe it's not the worst idea for you.
no, it's definitely not the worst idea.
Well,
Definitely
it's not
not.
that I thought it was the worst. It just seemed like, I don't know. I know how I don't know. I was looking at, I was going to shoot a bear with a bow this
Mhm.
last spring.
Yep.
Because I haven't shot a bear with a bow in too long. I haven't shot anything with a bow in too long. So I had my bow, I was shooting it. I was going to shoot a bear with a bow. But my plan, right? For
Yep.
me, it's always about what am I going to shoot a bear at the bait with next.
Yeah.
Right? I'm going to
Mhm.
shoot one with this, and then what's next? Next, right now, and was this last spring, was my 6 arc.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So to me, if I was you, I feel like if I had the new bow,
Yeah.
I'd want to shoot something with that new bow.
Yeah.
Then,
Mm-hmm.
however, when's the next time you're going to go on a hunt like this?
Well, and that's kind of what I'm thinking about right now,
Potentially next year, or whatever potentially a few years, right?
Yeah.
It may be relatively short
too.
time,
Mm-hmm.
or that could be your plan, and it's 20 years from now.
Well, and that's kind of where I'm at right now with this. Is there was a client that I had a couple of years ago on a brown bear hunt, and
Yeah.
he brought a Black Widow recurve,
Yeah, we've talked about this.
and we had an absolute riot, sneaking in on brown bears, getting close to them. I mean, and you know what? To his credit, he would not shoot over 20 yards. And I say to his credit because we had some chances on bears that were just over 20 yards away, and he
Right.
wouldn't shoot. He said, nope, I know my limitations. If I go home because we can't get one within 20 yards and I go home without a bear, I'm not going to be any less happy. As long as we try and as long as we get some stalks in, that's what I'm here for. I'm here for the experience of it, and I just want to get close to these bears. And we did. And, he ended up getting a shot at a bear, and he missed. It was sub 20. It wasn't sub 10, but it was a few yards under 20, and he missed. But you know what? He didn't quit. He still had a great attitude about it. He was still just as happy that he got the chances to do it, and that made him say, you know what? This was going to be my last chance at a brown bear, but I'm going to go again. And so he went back the following spring, either the following spring or the next year spring. I don't remember. I think it was this spring that he
Okay.
came back up. And the outfitter that I was guiding for at the time had retired when he hunted with me, and so he went with somebody else that specializes in brown bear hunting, different outfit altogether, that specializes in archery hunting for brown bears. And he shot a 9-foot brown bear at 5 yards.
Good.
One shot, made a great shot, and he called me.
Nice.
Called me after the hunt, and he was still all jacked up when he was back in cell service. And it had been a couple of days, and he says, "You're not going to believe this. It's everything I thought it was going to be." And he was just so happy that he waited it out and didn't give up. And he said, "Man, that first hunt, going with you and getting those chances and just doing that and just enjoying the experience for it made me want to come back and do it again." And I thought, I've had all of that in my mind for the last little while now that I've been shooting a recurve again a lot. Because originally, a couple weeks ago, well, almost a month ago now, I picked up a recurve after I'd got my compound all dialed in, and I thought, okay, at this point, I'm just slinging more arrows. I'm not really going to get any better, right? But I could improve my muscles a little bit more, and shooting the trad bow is going to do that more than shooting a compound because you're holding more weight back, and just the way that you shoot is just different. But I started shooting a recurve again because I've got them, and it is inherently more fun because I grew up doing it, and it's harder. Mm-hmm. But I did it, and I did it, and I did it, and I thought, you know what? Why not? And if I don't get one, then I don't get one. It doesn't matter. I live here. I can do this again.
Right.
In another couple of years if I want to. I'm not limited by the cost of a guided hunt, so what's my excuse?
Yeah. No, I see, yeah.
And so if I can get to the point at which I am at right now, really, if I can maintain this and make improvements over time, that I am making reliable killing shots consistently at 30 yards and in, then why wouldn't I bring the recurve?
I think you should.
Might be fun.
Which is, what did I tell you yesterday? Or were you crazy?
Might be kind of fun.
I think you should. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. It's a practice thing, but it's definitely a lot more of a challenge to shoot well.
Yeah. Well, it's similar to how I feel. It's not the same, but similar to how I feel about the sheep hunt. Like I said in the last episode, it's not even about killing a sheep. For me at this point,
exactly.
Sure, I want to kill a sheep.
Yeah.
But it's about the fact that I can do this now. I have 2 weeks to do it now. And while I might plan on wanting to do this every year for the rest of my life, there's no guarantee that's what's going to happen.
Yeah. They could close the whole state down.
I don't want it to be because of that. But then again, if I can't go kill a sheep, then nobody should be able to go kill a sheep.
So Mo's moving to Canada.
That would be like the best reason I could possibly think of to move to Canada.
Exactly. About the only reason.
Yeah.
Dual citizenship.
Yeah, but then
a lot of other bad apples in that can of worms.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
a lot of other bad worms in that can of apples.
I think we're going to cut this one off. What are we at this
48
point?
minutes.
Yep. Short and sweet. If you guys enjoy the Great Alaska Hunting Podcast and this short ramble session, a little bit of chit-chat, mid-season in September, then please give the show a 5-star rating on Apple or Spotify, whichever platform you're listening to us on. If you're on YouTube, then do the classic like and subscribe. And hopefully you can share it with a friend if you like what we're doing here. Got a lot of things planned. Some stories coming up, and then we've got some interviews lined up after that with some guests, and just telling hunting stories and just see what comes up next on the plate. So if you like us enough, then you can write us a written review or leave us a comment on a YouTube video. Please just keep it tame and calm. But that helps us grow the show. We don't ask for any monetary support at this point in the podcast. We're not going to go that route as of yet, but only way we ask you to support us is just give us a 5-star rating and a positive written review. If you don't like the podcast, then don't bother writing a review. Or
give us 5 stars because you like us. Or even if you don't like us.
Or if you like one of us and not the other one, then leave a 5-star review for that one. And just forget about the other one of us. That's just how that works. So, without further ado, we'll leave you with our freshly branded tagline. Stay safe out there. Tread lightly, but don't tread well. We'll see you next time.